It's time to watch a movie you've never seen. There might be some ninjas or a crazy death machine. There'll be smiles and there'll be tears. You won't watch another movie for about 800 years. It's time for death by video. Time for death by video with Phil and Kit and Graham.
Well, you gotta do a test toast and then figure it out from there.
Or we can just leap into it right now.
We could leap into it right now. You just edit around everything bad.
Yeah, no, we won't.
Like if there's some crappy dialogue, just take it out.
Yeah, whatever. You gotta
Do like some stock sounds of like
I probably will. They'll probably
tumbleweeds and shit.
It'll probably be like a
the sounds 9. You would hear. Yeah, the Highway 9 sounds.
Yeah.
Big rig trundling past.
Something like that, yeah. Like a wind whistling eerily at night.
Is that the highway that Mike Harris sold?
No, that's 427.
Okay.
407. 407,
yeah.
Now, the 427 is the highway that goes north
Sold
and
it
south.
for a song.
Yep,
Yes.
to the Spanish. So I guess that's our intro for the first ever episode of Death by Video. I'm Graham Shepard, the programmer, I guess you'd call me.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you want us to announce our voices?
Yes,
Yes.
announce yourself.
Oh, my name's Kit Lewis. I am not a programmer.
I'm Phil Bardak. I'm also not a programmer.
So we've gathered here tonight in the ruins of the old video store off Highway 9, just south of Markham. And we're going to be watching an old movie, or not even an old movie, but a movie, and then talking about it afterwards. Already kicking it off, great. So, guys, have any of you watched anything interesting in the last week before we get going?
Well, we watched the remake of Breathless yesterday evening.
There's a remake of Breathless?
Yes, with Richard Gere.
Oh, Jesus.
And more importantly, Richard Gere's Little Richard.
Yes. There's full frontal.
I get it. But I'm just so this must have been earlier in his career. It's not Little Richard.
It wasn't super early.
No, it was like he was kind of established. This was like a few years after American Gigolo.
That's the movie I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been before An Officer and a Gentleman, or just after.
No, just after.
Yeah, because the
It's
remake
like-
of Breathless was 83, and I think Officer and a Gentleman was 82.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was good. I actually liked it quite a bit. Like, I've always heard bad things about it, but yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought the soundtrack was really good. And,
Yeah, soundtrack is excellent. Very good use of Link Ray.
Oh, yeah.
And
Good old
Jerry
Link
Lewis.
Ray.
Yeah.
And the Pretenders, and X at
X's
the end.
cover of Breathless by Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah. And it was good. And the French actress that was the lead of it was not as bad as everyone always said she was, in my opinion.
Still not good.
She wasn't good. She just
no.
wasn't the horrible mess that everyone made her out to be. And granted, the last time I saw the movie, I was 7 years old, and it was like 1 p.m. on TBS in the afternoon.
And I saw it like in the middle of the night when I was like 12.
Yeah, cool. Kid, have you watched anything good in the last week?
No.
Not even from our luxurious selection here at this abandoned video store that no one knows about?
Well, I did watch. Yeah, I watched Gitavan
Oh, Gitavan.
with you guys.
In quotation marks.
Yes.
AKA A Road to Revenge.
Or just Get Even.
Get even.
I've been actually telling people about this movie.
Gitvan.
I don't often know how to describe it when I tell people about it.
No.
But
The way you should describe it is that it's just a...
it's a guy with a mustache.
John D. Hart Esquire.
Esquire. Wow.
Oh yeah, if you Google him, you'll find his official website, John D. Hart Esquire, and there's like audio that accompanies his website. And it's on this very like GeoCities style.
He seemed legit. Like
Yeah.
magazines did an interview with him just this year or something like that, or just this past year. So he's still, I don't know, milking that Gitavan money.
Oh yeah.
I think he spent all the Gitavan money on Gitavan. Gitavan is a 1993/2007 action film, and action is like the loosest term to describe it.
There's some action, like not physical action. There is some stroking action. I don't know. He writes a lot of love scenes into the mix.
There's definitely emphasis on stroking and
There's a lot of bathtub scenes.
yes,
Oh, the bathtub scenes.
upper arm rubbing.
Rubbing.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe. Oh, the upper arm rubbing. And country music singing.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Written and sung by John
DeHart. Directed by,
Esquire.
and the film was also written and directed by John DeHart, financed by John DeHart, starring John DeHart. I'm guessing choreographed by John DeHart as well, considering
I would imagine so.
I'm not sure there's choreography in the movie, but yes.
Yeah, and
Full creative control.
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
He
That's
probably
the way.
produced it as well.
Yeah.
He is definitely an auteur, like
Yeah.
you know, like how Francis Ford Coppola is now financing his own movies. I kind
With his wine money.
Yes, with his wine money. Well, you know, John DeHart is financing his own movie, or like he's only made one.
Really? That's his only movie.
Well-
That's surprising.
It's his room, basically.
There's
his
no
room.
follow-up to
No.
Get Even?
No, and we're of course not talking. We're talking about
Get
Brie
Even 2?
Larson.
Get Evener?
Get him in with a vengeance.
Getting even
Live
with that.
free or get even.
Live Free or Get Even. Yep, I like it.
A good day to get even. Oh, actually, that kind of ties into the movie we're going to be watching tonight.
Ooh, segue.
Yeah, because one of the stars of the Die Hard films, Bruce Willis, is in a film called Expendables Part 2, or Part 2 in France. And in Expendables 2, the villain is played by none other than the Belgian thespian Jean-Claude Van Damme. And tonight we're going to be watching one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's earliest films, a video store staple from the 1980s and 1990s, where he plays a villain, and he's also playing a Russian, yet he was prominently featured on every single poster and box cover, and he's not the main character or even really in it that much. The film is called No Retreat, No Surrender, which just came out on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. We are, of course, going to be watching the VHS version, which is the only version.
Nice. I hope it's pan and scan.
Oh, pan and scan. I'm
Is
not
it
sure.
full screen?
Yes, it is full screen.
Oh, sweet.
Actually, I'm just lying. We're going to be watching the Blu-ray. And it features...
All that build up and
Yeah.
You're breaking the magic here. You're breaking... I mean, I thought we were in an abandoned video store only watching videotapes, and now you've just ruined the image for me.
Well, we are in an abandoned video store. What are you
Well, I know
talking
we
about?
are, but you
Hear
Somehow
that wind
has
whistling
Blu-rays.
I
outside?
thought we were just collecting spare VHSs that we found around the abandoned video store. Abandoned VHSs.
Yeah.
like out on bail.
That could be next week's movie, Out on Bail.
Do good things happen out on bail? Just good stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Out on Bail yet. That could be a watch this week. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the ghosts of the abandoned video store tell us.
Are you still working on Soldier's Revenge?
Yeah, that was a rough first half hour. Cool. And have either of you seen No Retreat, No Surrender?
I have not.
No, I have not either.
Oh my god, I am so thrilled.
I have not seen any pre-Bloodsport Jean-Claude Van Damme.
There is an amazing twist in this movie
Whoa.
that nobody will see coming
Oh my god.
at all. I'm not even going to read the back of the VHS box cover because I'm so excited about this. So we're going to hit pause, we're going to watch the movie, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
All right.
All right, see you after the break, guys. Bye.
There comes a time when you face the truth alone. The greatest challenge to believe. And with the help from those who give you strength of mind, stand up and fight your battle, leaving your old inhibitions behind. Stand on your own. There's no retreat, there's no surrender. Stand on your own, for you must do what your heart tells you. Stand on your own.
So we're back after watching No Retreat, No Surrender. And,
we're back.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
From the abandoned video store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from the abandoned video store off Highway 9 just south of Markham. And we might have
Be
been
nor-
joined
it
by
would be
like
north of Markham.
yeah, one of the spirits of the video store joined
Keswick?
us.
I'm bad.
Keswick. So Kit, tell us the story of No Retreat, No Surrender.
In my own words, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Go for it.
As far as I can tell, okay, so there's a LA dojo which is quickly taken over by Russian gangsters, one of whom is played by Van-Damme. And he breaks the owner of the dojo's leg, and of course they retreat and surrender pretty quickly and just run off to Seattle.
Yeah, we kind of realized the title of this movie should have been Retreat and Surrender, not
Yes.
No Retreat, No Surrender.
That's what's done the most often.
Spoiler alert, eventually there's no retreat and surrender.
Yes, eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
It works its way up to,
But
no retreat and surrender.
so yes, now that they're in Seattle, of course karate is sworn off. The father has Jason, who is the father's son, he still idolizes Bruce Lee, and still secretly trains to be like Bruce Lee, I suppose. He tries to join a Seattle dojo, and they just laugh at him because he's from LA and he doesn't fight as good as they do.
I think
Which is
you're
true.
forgetting that he encountered a certain
RJ. Yes.
RJ, yes, but also the metabolism challenge character.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Does
Phil, why don't you fill us in on that character?
Yeah, not sure what his role is, but he's somehow affiliated with the Seattle dojo scene. He's quite a gluttonous character and is not particularly conscious of his physical appearance.
when we first meet this character, he's eating an entire cake to himself.
It's like a
that's a fact.
McCain style cake.
It is like a deep and delicious McCain cake.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if they have in Seattle. I thought that was a
No.
Canadian thing.
Yeah.
But then, he's eating I think it's literally called Burger Time, and he's just down in literally 10 burgers stacked on top of each other. He's got fucking ketchup and mustard smeared all over his face. He kind of looks like he's at a burger off, you know?
Yeah, like he's actually competitively eating
Yes,
burgers, but
yeah.
he's not. He's just
No, he's just casually eating burgers. It's like lunch for him.
And also, yeah, RJ appears on the scene. RJ is a neighbor. They move into this new place in Seattle. RJ is really into Michael Jackson.
He's got a jerry curl.
He's got a jerry curl.
He's got a boom box attached to his
He's got a
BMX
boom
bike.
box. He's good with the basketball.
And that's about it.
Yeah, that's about
Rides
it.
around
That's about
on
it
his
with
blue
RJ.
BMX box or BMX bike.
And basically plays the role of the magical Negro.
He does, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Except he doesn't actually enable him to do anything. That would actually be the ghost of Bruce Lee who shows up.
That's true.
That's probably the best part about this movie is that it's a standard kind of Karate Kid 80s oh, I'm a reject, but I like a girl and she likes me, but there's the jock played by Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees, but not really.
No.
Maybe, though.
It's kind of proto Ghost of Jim Morrison in Wayne's World 2.
That's probably where they got it from.
Probably, yeah. They probably watched No Retreat, No Surrender. Mike Myers was I'm just gonna incorporate the Ghost of Jim Morrison.
Apparently, a lot of people were watching No Retreat, No
Yes.
Surrender. The producers of Ghost, Flava Flav, and
Yeah.
also Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes,
because
of course,
RJ
because
wears
RJ
a small...
has
RJ has a small stopwatch. around his neck, Flava
to help
Flav
him with
style.
the 18th training montage in this movie.
There are a few
and
training
it's
montages.
82-minute running time.
There's also a date montage.
Yes.
But
And
is it really
several.
a date, though? We don't know. They don't kiss on the date. They hug and intently look into
But
each other's eyes.
they make out before the
do
date
kiss
starts.
at some point, so he's not being friend zoned or anything.
No. They make out well
If
before the
anything,
date.
I think she's being friend-zoned.
Yeah.
Because at the end, when he starts or finishes a fight at her party and then runs away, and she's like, "No, it's not like that." And his
He literally shoves her away.
yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know what? I think maybe this movie it was too modern, too early for this kind of storyline. But I think the real love story is between RJ and Jason. I'm thinking.
Well, I noticed there is something cut out of this that was in the VHS release.
It's
where
kind of like Rocky 3 with Rocky and Apollo.
Yeah.
if Apollo Creed didn't accomplish anything in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you saying that RJ accomplished nothing in life except those sick dance moves?
Yeah, he's in Michael Jackson circle 87, and he's
Well, this-
doing the fucking windmill with the
Yeah.
Well, you
the
just
big
dropped an F-bomb,
shoulder
Phil, so I
pads.
guess
Yeah,
now I have to
the
click
Sgt.
explicit.
Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Phil has already dropped a few F-bombs, so you will definitely have to click the old
Yeah,
explicit.
we've all had quite a few beers at this point. We are currently drinking most of us are drinking Old Milwaukee. Phil B is drinking a very strong. Is that an IPA?
It's Muskoka Saison. It's
The Princess Wears Girl
9.0.
Pants.
Yes.
9.0 alcohol. Wow,
Yeah.
that is some stiff beer,
It
Phil.
is very stiff beer. It's a saison, but does not taste like a saison because it's that high in alcohol
It's
content.
filled with alcohol.
Okay, yeah, I think you were having a
It tastes like
conversation
it tastes like an
with
IPA,
one of the ghosts
basically.
of the video store earlier about it. I think I heard her like voice whispering on the wind. So just so that you guys know,
Don't tell my boss.
No Retreat, No Surrender was actually followed by 2 sequels. No Retreat, No
What?
Surrender 2 from 1987.
Is Van Damme in either of those?
Let me just look it up here. The first one was originally intended to be a direct sequel, but that didn't happen.
Sequels in name only.
So the stars of the second one are Lauren Avildon, Matthias Hughes, Max Thayer, and Cynthia Rothrock. Now, Cynthia Rothrock is interesting because she was a North American martial artist who actually went to Hong Kong and became a star in Hong Kong as the White Kung Fu Girl in films such as Yes, Madam, and God, what was the other one? Yes, Madam's the
There
big
was
one.
that other one that was always on like Viewer's Choice. I remember like the trailers with like Bolo Young,
Yeah. So you're
Tiger
familiar,
Claws,
something like that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Cynthia Rothrock, Phil?
I know of her. I've never watched any movies with her.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because in the Hong Kong film, she was always presented as being the ugly white woman, but she's actually very attractive, and it was more a comment on the.
It's because she was fucking jacked. Is that it?
You're just all over the F-bombs today.
I'm sorry.
She's not jacked actually, but going.
Is she fucking jacked though?
Oh, you ruined it. Okay, so let's
Dude.
let's get some background on this film. So it was actually, I'm just going through Wikipedia right now. In the 1980s, Keith Strandberg became interested in working in martial arts as an actor. Strandberg moved back to the United States and became a tour director in China. That doesn't make sense. Why would he become a tour director in China if he was in the United States? Long story short, Jean-Claude Van Damme was cast as the Soviet villain Ivan Krasinski, which we know is not correct because in the end credits he's listed as like Kurt Krasinski or something. And Pete Sugarfoot Cunningham is in the movie as well.
Sugarfoot is not literally his middle name. It's Sugarfoot in quotation marks.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
He was the African American member of the Seattle dojo.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he was the guy that beat the crap out of Jason in the
Yeah,
dojo
yeah,
scene.
the like floor scene, what the quote unquote ring.
Yeah, the ring, which was
It's
just
not outside of the
right
ring.
beside the actual
they
ring.
were-
Right beside
they
the ring,
were-
adjacent to the ring.
The members of the dojo formed a square, so it
Yes.
was in a way it was a mirror
figurative
of the
ring.
Yeah, it was a ring sort of just on the floor.
Yes.
which makes it tougher.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys think this stacks up to the rest of the Van Damme oeuvre?
I haven't seen the rest. I've as we were talking about, I've seen it's not called Double Trouble. It's called
Double Impact.
Double Impact.
Which
That's
was
correct.
where he plays his own twin.
That's correct.
That's the first time he does that.
I've seen Bloodsport. I've seen very few Van Damme films, actually. As it turns out, I did not see the one with Dennis Rodman and the tiger.
Double
I've not
Team.
seen that one either.
Double Team.
I know of it.
Did you see
I've listened
Street
to
Fighter?
I think I've seen Sudden
Raul
Death.
Julia's final movie
Yep.
as
The
M.
unfortunate-
Bison.
I never saw I've seen sections of Street Fighter, like when it plays on City TV, and I half watch it while doing
I
other
mean, when it
things.
used to play on City TV when they used to have movies.
When they used to have movies, that's correct.
Yeah.
Late great movies.
Time Cop.
Time Cop, I have seen. Okay,
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Sudden Death.
Sudden Death, I was just saying, I have seen that
Yeah, okay.
with the fight with the goalie and everything. And
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, he's like fighting, being the shit of the mascot
Yeah,
and like the duck suit or
in the
whatever.
duck suit, yeah. And then there's a bomb at the hockey arena or
Yes,
something. I
yeah.
can't quite remember the plot of that.
What else is there?
Oh, I saw JCVD, which was
yeah,
his
yeah.
his return to form, his like gritty kind of
The
realist film.
meta film, yeah.
Yeah.
What else was there? There was that movie, Maximum Risk, with Natasha Henstridge.
Did not see that
Maximum
one.
Risk. I remember
Don't
that one. Yeah,
that
that was the one where he broke out his actual acting chops because said he had to like have a love scene and
This is when like Natasha Henstridge was breaking into acting. This was like after Species.
yeah.
Oh,
she
yeah.
dyed her hair red. She was no longer a blonde.
Yeah.
What happened to her?
She did Species 2 and 3.
So that's what happened to her.
Yeah,
Now she's gone.
What else is there? I know there's more.
So can we try and figure out how the karate tournament at the end of the movie actually worked?
We haven't even gotten into the Ghost of Bruce Lee yet.
Oh, the Ghost of Bruce Lee.
Oh my
okay,
God,
we'll
yeah.
get to that afterwards. So with the karate tournament at the end, so after Jason's been trained by the Ghost of Bruce Lee, which I realize we've glossed over. By the way, okay, let's skip back to that part. I knew about the Ghost of Bruce Lee twist because I've seen the movie before. You guys have not. Did you have
No.
any inkling that there'd be any supernatural content to this movie whatsoever?
Only
No.
because you kept on mentioning it was a twist that was going to blow our mind. I assumed it had to be at least with aliens or supernatural content. But I did not guess the Ghost of Bruce Lee.
Despite the fact that they went to the actual tombstone of Bruce Lee
They did, yes.
Yeah.
twice. Once
Probably
when he cried in the rain saying, "Help me, Bruce Lee, help me, Sensei."
did not see the twist
No,
coming.
I did not
still.
see the
No.
twist coming.
Didn't
no.
see him entering Patrick Swayze style from Ghost.
No.
No,
Also, the guy didn't actually look a whole lot like Bruce Lee, other than the
Not
fact they were
at all.
both Asian.
not at all. Yeah. It kind of
They,
racist of
they
the
opted
film.
for like Bruce Lee style dubbing.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was dubbed as if he was in a kung fu film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Good
that
conversation, guys.
happened. Well, we were considering that this might not be the ghost of Bruce Lee, that young Jason might just be schizophrenic and be like hallucinating, because he does quite.
Speaking of young, we have no idea how old he is. If he's in high
No.
school,
He looks to
university,
be
or
about
what.
27, is my
Yes.
guess.
And his dad looks to be about 31.
Which is pretty
Yes.
typical of 80s movies in general.
I do miss
Teenagers
that,
are
though.
generally played by like 33-year-olds.
Yeah, well, like I was watching clips from the movie Reckless from 1984, starring Daryl Hannah and
Aidan Quinn.
Aidan Quinn.
Oh, I know that movie very
and
well.
like, I actually love those clips, especially the one where they're dancing to Romeo Void at the school
yeah.
dance. Great scene. But Aidan Quinn looks to be about 42 in that movie,
Oh, yeah.
playing like a 16-year-old. Also,
It
Adam,
doesn't seem like he really aged at all. He's just like
still
perpetually
looks
looked
the same.
42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he
He was
came out of the
42 in
birth canal,
84.
42.
He's like 42 and like
94,
yeah,
2004,
exactly.
2014.
I haven't seen him in anything in like 18 years, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Sorry, one of the ghosts here is like giving us a hand signal. Oh, Ghost. Yeah, it's also we believe that the producers of Ghost saw this film as well.
Yes.
And they ripped off the whole Patrick Swayze intro from Bruce Lee's intro from this movie.
Yes.
Most definitely. That's definitely what happened.
Yeah, and like his when he leaves when his work is done.
He just kind of
leaves-
exits.
Yeah, it's just kind of like like when he's like kind of like at the end of Ghost, and like Patrick Swayze. Spoiler alert for anybody who's never seen Ghost, but like when like Patrick Swayze like walks into heaven.
I've
the gate
seen,
closes,
yeah.
It's
Well,
kinda
I've
like the
seen
end of the
Ghost
Apple
a
when
few times.
God
Not-
leads the hippies into his floating Cadillac and
Yeah,
then takes off
yeah.
into the outer space.
Yeah,
that happens.
which
in
was
the
kind of
Apple,
like
yeah.
Proto Repo Man as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, there we
Repo
go.
Man.
Bringing them all back.
So I'm actually going to try and now describe the plot of this because we've gone so far off the rails. So it starts off in Los Angeles.
I think I explained that part pretty well, Grant.
I think you did. Kit.
Skip ahead. So Jason has arrived in Seattle where he meets RJ and Fatso, or Lardass as he prefers to call
Does
him.
the character actually have a name? Did you notice this time around with the credits?
I was trying to look it up. I couldn't find it.
No.
No.
By the way, Lardass looks to be about 37. He looks like he's the oldest.
He's also
Yeah,
looks like a
definitely.
very southern man. in
Yes,
Seattle.
and he speaks with a very thick Southern accent.
He is part of the Seattle dojo scene, though, as Phil mentioned.
He's a white belt, I think, from what I watched.
Yeah.
And so the Seattle dojo, they don't like him. But unfortunately, Jason is dating, I want to say her name is Kelly.
I believe her
Kelly
name is Kelly.
or Jess.
She's a Kelly.
She's a Kelly. She's got the Kelly Kapowski haircut.
Yeah.
10 years before Kelly Kapowski had it.
But she looks like Betty Finn without the glasses.
Yeah.
I don't know who Betty Finn is, but I agree.
Betty Finn is Winona Ryder's character's friend in Heathers,
Heathers?
who ditches
I
her
haven't seen Heathers
in favor of the Heathers.
for a while. I haven't seen Heathers for a while. Wasn't Winona Ryder also a Heather? Let's not talk about Heathers.
No, Winona Ryder was a Veronica
That's right. That's right.
who was part of the Heathers clique.
I do remember that.
You're overdue for a rewatch of Heathers.
It's been a while. I just
Okay.
remember Christian Slater blowing himself up at the end. Spoiler alert, I guess.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I have a VHS of Heathers
Yeah.
that just
You
floated on over to
do.
Kit.
Well, we are in a
it's
VHS
we are in an
store.
abandoned video store.
Before he loses his middle finger. Another spoiler
This
alert.
never
So-
happens.
What, on the back of the VHS box cover?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. As far as I
Okay,
can
he's talking
remember.
about the VHS box cover for Heathers.
And I realize this is radio, and I'm not actually. I'm saying, look at this.
What's
this doesn't
underneath the
happen.
gymnasium? The boiler room.
With there's one. Okay, so with no retreat, no surrender. There's some surrendering done. Our kid Jason and his girl Kelly, they kind of like each other, but they don't because all of her friends also are part of the Seattle karate dojo scene.
But they also make out quite a lot.
And very quickly, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they see each other for the first time, they're, like, tongue-kissing almost immediately.
But they met each other the summer before in Los Angeles.
I know. I get that. There's something before. They had known each other before. You can tell when they first meet.
There's an
He
innate charisma
actually,
there.
it's funny. They pull up at the house. He sees a car and he's like, "Oh, it's my mom's bitchy friend. I hate this bitch." He actually uses that kind of language, which is kind of surprising.
I know, in a PG movie.
And then
It was
turns
the
out-
80s.
And then it turns out to be his friend Kelly or Jess. We still don't know her name. I'm gonna go with Kelly. I'll go with Kelly.
I'm leaning towards Kelly.
I don't think it was Kelly, but I like. That.
I can check my phone right now, but
Don't just leave it be.
All right. Fair.
So they go to her pool party for the birthday.
Yep.
Where
Oh, and her brother, by the way, is a champion, a karate champion
full
as well.
contact karate champion.
Everybody is into karate back in
Yes.
the 80s, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
that-
it was
But
Karate
before
Kid,
before
so-
grunge, there was karate. That was
That's
Seattle
actually
circa
how-
1986. Yeah.
That's how Kurt
That's the
Cobain
title
got
of
into
my
grunge.
favorite album.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, before grunge, there was
Yeah,
karate.
yeah. Kurt Cobain wasn't so hot into karate, so he.
I think Chris Novoselic and Kurt Cobain met at a dojo, one of the many Seattle dojos.
yeah.
Sorry, I just looked it up. Her name was Kelly. Kelly Riley.
All right, you guys are right.
Played by Kathy Salino. And Tai Chung Kim played the ghost of Bruce Lee.
Of course he did.
So, long story
They
short.
didn't have the technology to have like a hologram Bruce Lee. Or...
To bring Bruce Lee back
yes,
from the dead.
Yes. Kind of like hologram Tupac at like Coachella or.
Or Carrie Fisher in Star Wars.
Oh, is there a hologram Carrie Fisher now?
Oh, you didn't see Rogue One?
Oh, fuck off! Really?
There's fake
Well, I
Carrie
mean-
Fisher, and there's also fake Peter
What's his
Cushing.
face? Peter Cushing, but he's in it a lot.
Yeah, and fake Mon Mothma.
Isn't
Carrie
hasn't Peter
Fisher's-
Cushing been dead for like 40
Yeah,
years
he,
Yeah.
now?
was-
He's
yeah,
been
he's
dead
been dead
forever.
for a while, but he is in that movie a lot. He plays
Yeah.
like a
Good
central
grief!
character.
Wow. Okay.
It was kind of
Poor,
disrespectful.
poor
In a
Peter
way.
Cushing.
So, anyways, back to the movie.
Sorry.
After he gets kicked out of Kelly's birthday party by the Seattle Karate Dojo team,
He gets beat up.
beaten up. His shirt pocket gets
His
ripped
shirt
off.
pocket gets
yeah.
ripped. The arm of his dress shirt gets ripped.
It was tucked in before, and it wasn't tucked in after the beating.
And the fat
Oh
guy
yeah,
really
like
just
yeah.
flicks food at him and stuff. It's really disrespectful and upsetting.
He had some cuts on his face and chin region
Somehow.
Yeah.
And so then he winds up going back home, where his dad kicks him out of the house for fighting. And then he goes to RJ, who
He doesn't get kicked out of the house. He runs away from him, like literally runs away from home.
That's how I also understood the plot, but maybe you're correct. Maybe there was a line of dialogue where it's like, "Get out of here, son! I don't want to see you."
It's like play by my rules. It's like fuck you, Dad.
His dad, by the way, rips up his Bruce Lee poster.
Which he tapes back together again.
And Jason's all like defiance until then. He's all like, "Screw you, Dad!" And then Dad rips
Yeah.
up the Bruce Lee
Yeah.
poster, and he's like, "Can't we talk about this?"
But like Dad doesn't like throw away anything. Like he manages to retrieve everything that was.
And he moves into the most beautiful abandoned house.
yeah, that
I
RJ
think.
just happens to know about. And
There's a
with
little-
very unfortunate carpeting.
There's
though.
a little spray paint on the house, but otherwise it's like a mansion.
I didn't even notice the spray paint.
It's a little bit like on the walls.
minor. Yeah, okay, like Seattle level spray paint, not
Yeah.
like Toronto level.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Vandalism.
People literally graffitiing the word graffiti on
Yeah.
abandoned buildings.
It's like Honest Ed's graffiti right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So in the House of No Retreat, No Surrender, the ghost of Bruce Lee shows up, trains Jason how to do some form of karate, and how to kick really high, which we'll factor in later. And then Jason reconciles with his dad after he beats the crap. After Jason's dad, who is now crippled, works in a bar, gets accosted by some redneck Southern toughs.
Redneck
does
Southern
that
Toughs up in
sound?
Seattle.
Yeah, it happens.
That's the.
That's
I think
the
I think
old
that's
boiler
the
of-
water heater, the boiler of the.
Abandoned video store behind you.
Yeah,
Oh, strange.
I figured I would have shut it off by now, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. I guess there's still electricity here. We don't need to light all these candles.
No.
Oh well, I like the ambiance.
Yeah, it's nice and spooky. Ooh. Let's just skip to the end.
Well, no, I did like how Jason's dad is very against doing karate anymore because he got his leg broken, and he's like, "That's not the way." And then as soon as he gets
It
his
killed the
ass
vibe,
saved,
yeah.
he gets his ass saved by his son. He's like, "Thank you, I'm so proud of you, son." So I guess that killed his whole. We never actually get to hear about his struggle, but I guess he was able to overcome his feelings about karate, seeing his son save his ass.
Cool. And Phil, what's your take on the... So, Phil, set it up for us. What's the final scene, which is in... Looks like it's two different arenas. One is an arena and the other is a high school gym where they're doing a full contact karate tournament. But it's not really a tournament, is it?
Not really, no. It definitely sets itself up that way, and there's a very ineffectual referee who...
With a blonde wig.
With a blonde wig, kind of like a Ric Flair-ish wig.
He definitely was no red shoes for you Japanese wrestling fans out there.
I don't get that joke.
You need to come over for some Japanese wrestling when we're not in an abandoned video store off of Highway 9.
Okay.
Tangent. Yeah, the tournament at the end was it was exciting. It was bizarre because it seems like a no holds barred just
brawl, more or less.
Brawl. Yeah, there's some elements of wrestling and kickboxing. It doesn't seem very karate-esque
at
all.
It seems more kickboxing-ish.
And the person who eventually wins this tournament is just
Claude Van-Damme.
The person who eventually wins this tournament is just sitting in the audience watching it, and then just runs up into the ring and starts
just
kicking
intervenes.
ass.
Yeah.
Well, who's that person
Protagonist.
that runs up?
That would be Jason, of
Good
course,
old
our
Jason.
hero.
Yeah.
In a red Adidas tracksuit.
Yep.
So the tournament starts, and it's supposed to be 3 guys from the Seattle Karate Dojo versus 3 guys from the evil Russian Mafia Karate Dojo. Also, did anyone ever figure out why the Russian Mafia is like trying to horn in on the karate scene in Los Angeles and Seattle?
I have some theories about this.
Okay.
And it's not explained in the film very well, maybe in the extended European cut that you have. But I just assume they're looking for recruits. Like, if you have a bunch of people who are trained in karate as part of your mafia, then you're a tougher gang. That's my assumption. I don't think there's a lot of money in owning karate dojos.
Well, this movie came out circa 1986, so like my hunch is the Soviet Union was in a serious state of decline. So I guess they figured to help build themselves up back against
Champions. A la Drogo there.
Yeah, Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago, that's right.
Yes. Via karate, the Soviet Union could be a powerful competitive force against Reagan's United States of America.
So after the crushing defeat in Rocky 3 of Ivan... No, wait, that's Rocky 4.
It was Rocky 4.
Rocky 4.
Yeah, Rocky 3 is where he fights Mr. T, where he defeats the inner black youth.
And Apollo dies.
In Rocky 4, yes.
Rocky 4.
Rocky 4, yes.
Yep.
Rocky 3, Apollo's his trainer.
Yeah,
and
that's
there's
when
like
they
the,
become
like,
friends.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that one. I like the fact that like the guy who's been trying to fight for the first 2 movies is like, you know what? Let's put our differences aside.
Let's bury the hatchet.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a very altruistic viewpoint on life, and then he beats the crap out of Mr. T. But in Rocky 4, we all know that Sylvester Stallone defeated communism.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing
He's draped with the American flag at the end.
In Russia. They're fighting
in Russia, yeah.
and they're chanting Rocky, Rocky, Rocky.
Yeah.
And I definitely think
They've had it with Soviet-style communism.
Mhm. So the Soviets, in their haste, then turned to the emerging sport of full-contact karate, as seen in this film. So, do we think that No Retreat, No Surrender exists in the same universe as the Rocky films?
I hope so. This is after Karate Kid?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is...
According to Wikipedia, film critics of the time accused it of being a Karate Kid ripoff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe on the back of the Blu-ray case, the beautiful new Blu-ray that came out, which includes...
If you liked Karate Kid.
Well, let's actually read the official synopsis, which we probably should have started off with. Ivan the Rutcher... The Rutcher. Ivan... We're a couple beers in. Ivan the Russian Butcher Krasinski, Jean-Claude Van Damme from Hard Target
Butcher.
and
Okay,
Double
go
Impact, faces off with Jason Kid Karate. They call him Kid Karate, not Karate Kid. Stillwell, Kurt McKinney from Sworn to Justice.
He was also in a movie called Sworn to Justice.
Yeah. No Retreat, No Surrender,
Do you
Sworn
have
to
that?
Justice. I don't. I know. This abandoned video store does have some gaps.
It should have been like a Kurt McKinney movie night.
In a do-or-die battle between good and evil, Jason is an avid admirer of Bruce Lee, but has suffered countless defeats. At his lowest emotional ebb, Jason is visited by Bruce Lee's spirit, Kim Chai-chung, from Game of Death. Oh, an actual Bruce Lee movie. Offering to teach him all his closely guarded secrets. Jason's training is quickly put to its ultimate test when the crime syndicate when a crime syndicate threatens to take over Seattle as the fate of Jason's karate school hangs in the balance.
Wait, Jason is not part of that karate school, by the way.
No,
I'd like to
he's
point that
not.
out. He retreats and surrenders from that karate
He
school.
got
as
kicked.
quickly
He got
as
his ass
can.
kicked in it, and then he ran away.
He also retreats and surrenders from his girlfriend's party. He retreats and surrenders quite a bit in this film. I guess he learns not to retreat and not to surrender.
Yeah, this
And
description on the back here is not correct at all. The next, the next part of it says Jason is forced to submit to a trial by combat against the syndicate champion Ivan, an unstoppable butcher who has made mincemeat out of all black belts he's faced before, and there's no retreat and no surrender.
Again, Jason jumps into this fight.
No, like he has full agency. Like
He volunteers.
yes,
Yeah, he willfully jumps in after pointed out by someone here who's not here right now, that Jean-Claude Van Damme fought 3 guys before Jason got into the ring. So on a good day, Jean-Claude Van Damme probably could have wiped the floor with Jason.
I think Van Damme is the real hero. Ivan the Butcher is the real hero.
Yeah,
of this film.
he defected from the Russian Federation, from
Yeah.
the USSR, comes to the United States of America, becomes a karate champion.
And is badass. I mean, he breaks a guy's leg with a few moves.
he almost literally kills the dude before what's
Yeah.
his face. Jason jumps in and intervenes. Like,
Oh yeah, that was the
he,
brother.
keeps punching the dude's chest to the point that his lungs practically collapse.
Blood is actually coming out of his mouth.
And he's tying, the ring rope around the dude's neck, and
Yeah,
he's
pulling
just
some
going to
awesome
town
moves.
on
Yeah, no, I was thinking that our description of the movie was bad, but the official description on the back of the box is even worse.
You thought our description was bad, Graham?
Yeah, I did, Kit.
And then Van Damme's just casually doing the splits.
He
and-
does.
Yeah.
He does these splits, a la you've all seen the commercial where he does. The
Oh yeah,
splits
between the two trucks.
transports.
Yeah.
It's
This is
exact
the
same
origin.
splits
This is
move
where it started.
Yeah.
between the ropes of the ring.
He still has it,
And his
Yeah.
haircut is not diminished one bit. Even at the
No.
end of the fight, when he's laying in defeat out of the map,
Still
his
perfectly
haircut looks
gelled
perfect.
and combed.
With nary a cut on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bruised, but this is a PG-13 movie. It turns out that this director also directed, it's Corey Yun, also directed The Transporter.
Ah.
Yeah, which kind of explains the plot holes in that movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of plot holes in that movie.
Full disclosure, I've never seen it.
You don't need to. Or Transporter 2, 3, or the TV series.
I made it as far as...
Oh, there was a TV
there
series
was
I
a
know
TV
of.
series, wow.
Okay.
I saw Transporter 2, and that annoyed me because every time somebody would fire a machine gun at Jason Statham, he would just leap into the air and avoid all the bullets.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's Jason Statham.
I've never seen any movies with Jason Statham as action star. I've only seen him in the Guy Ritchie movies, and that's it.
You've never seen Expendables or Crank.
Nope.
Maybe we should watch it.
Crank was good, actually.
Crank 2 was also good because it was
I
just
did not
so
see Crank 2.
batshit crazy.
Crank was also kind of batshit crazy, but it kind of wore it right on its sleeve. So it was good. It was decent, anyway.
Cool.
I know it's a favorite of the How This Get Made guys. They like to cite the Crank movies quite a bit.
It is a it's not even a how did this get made movie. It's just a how does this exist movie.
Oh yeah.
It's I worked with a guy who was an assistant on that movie way back when.
Which one?
The first one. Yeah, this director I recently worked with, he was a director's assistant on Crank 1, where he said it was the most fun thing to be a part of, but nobody knew what was going on because all the directors were just shooting on, they go to Best Buy at night, buy 3 different camcorders, and then just go around on rollerblades, hanging onto motorcycles, shooting the movie with these camcorders, and that was how they did it.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe that would be in a future episode because I believe this video store closed down in 2000 and...
It would have been 9? I
9
think.
was when
High
Crank...
Voltage,
Crank 2 was 2009.
High Voltage, which is the subtitle
Yeah.
of Crank 2. That came out in 2009, I believe.
So we might be able to rummage around and find a copy of Crank 2 here for a future episode, but I don't know. So, at the end of the fight, Jason just beats the crap out of Van Damme, throws him out of the ring. The referee raises his hand, despite the fact that this is not even an official
Jason
match.
was not registered as a competitor
no.
in this
No,
match.
he literally just ran into the ring to
The
kick.
referee finally managed to worm himself back into the ring after being thrown out of the ring
yeah.
by JCVD.
JCVD kicked him out of the ring. Again, that would never happen to Red Shoes.
I do hope this referee got some sort of
fine.
A fine, or maybe he lost
reprimand,
his job,
or he lost his
reprimand is the word I
license.
was looking for, because
The fact that the entire competition just fell into a brawl at the end, and that the audience was even just like, is no one going to call the police? The fact that everyone's just randomly fighting in the ring.
this is the referee's fault.
Yeah, and
They're all into it. It's like we're human beings. We're addicted to
But
violence.
Referees are not supposed to be a go with the flow kind of a thing. It's supposed to be like, these are the rules, and I'm going to enforce them.
yeah.
And I'm sure in other circumstances he could, but since this is like a little out of the ordinary, he sort of became a pushover.
You sort of let it go. So, do we have any final thoughts on No Retreat, No Surrender?
That's kind of my final thought too, Phil.
Yeah. Watch it if you want to.
Yeah, it's there. It exists. If you want to see it, it's basically a poor man's Karate Kid, but it does feature the actual grave of Bruce Lee. So if you were ever curious as to what Bruce Lee's
it does.
Bruce Lee's actual grave looks like, he's actually wearing sunglasses on his gravestone, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Learned something.
All right.
The more you know.
So we're gonna wrap up this first episode because I see that
And what a dynamite first episode it was.
I can see the earliest peeking of dawn through these shattered windows here, and we should probably get out of here before it gets too bright and we get accused of trespassing.
Even the ghost has left us, so.
I know. If you'd like to submit any feedback, positive or negative, you can send it to our Facebook page. You can message us at we're Death by Video on Facebook. And we look forward to hearing your feedback. And I'm going to turn it over to our Ouija board. Not a Ouija board, a Ouija board, because Ouija is owned by Milton Bradley, or Parker Brothers are one of them. It's a Ouija board that the spirits of the video store control as to what we're going to be watching next. Okay, let's follow my finger here. Z. O.
We're not watching Zordan, are we?
B.
I was expecting Zardoz, but
Zardoz.
I. Oh, we're gonna be watching Zombie. Oh wait, it's not done. 3.
Oh dear.
Zombie 3. Have either of you guys ever seen Zombie 3 before?
nope.
This is one of your obscure Italian-made zombie films.
Yep.
Does it have anything to do with Zombie 1 and or 2?
There's no Zombie 1 or 2.
What? I thought there was a zombie.
There's kind of a Zombie 1, but it's not really a Zombie 1.
Was it like an alternate spell on the zombie?
No.
Zombie with an E at the end.
Possibly. That's involved, but not really.
Okay.
We'll get to that next time. So for next time, guys, this is Graham.
This is Kid.
Phil.
Saying,
Was that a little loud?
please don't forget to rewind, and we'll see you next time on Death by Video.